Let's be honest, we've all been there. You're stuck in a conversation that feels less like talking and more like being held hostage. The other person keeps going, story after story, detail after detail, and you can't find a way in. You try to smile, you nod, you glance at your watch, but they just keep going. And the worst part? You start feeling guilty for wanting the conversation to end. You think, I don't want to be rude. But inside you're screaming, please, just stop talking. So today let's talk about that moment. The moment you're trapped in someone else's monologue. How do you handle it without losing your patience, your professionalism, or your peace? Because here's the truth. Good communication isn't just about talking well. It's also about knowing when and how to gracefully stop or redirect a conversation. Step 1. Shift your mindset. It's not about control, it's about connection. Most people who overtalk aren't trying to be annoying. They're trying to be understood. They talk because silence feels uncomfortable. They talk because they crave validation. They talk because somewhere deep down they fear being ignored. So before you react with frustration, pause and ask yourself, what might this person need right now? Maybe it's acknowledgement. Maybe it's reassurance. Maybe it's simply someone to finally listen, just for a moment. When you shift from irritation to understanding, your entire tone changes. You're no longer trying to shut them up. You're trying to meet them where they are. And ironically, that's often the exact thing that helps them slow down. Step 2. Use your body language, not your words, to guide the pace. You don't have to interrupt. You can signal that the conversation needs to move on without ever saying a word. Start with subtle cues. Slightly lean back instead of forward. Take a slow breath and glance away briefly. A natural sign you're disengaging. Stop nodding continuously. Just pause your facial feedback for a moment. These small shifts break the rhythm of their verbal flow. It's like putting a gentle hand on the steering wheel without grabbing it. People subconsciously pick up on those cues. They'll often pause, look for your reaction, and that's your window, your moment to step in. Step 3. Interrupt. Politely but firmly. Let's clear this up. Interrupting is not always rude. Sometimes it's necessary. The key is how you do it. Here's the difference between cutting someone off and stepping in respectfully. Rude interruption. Okay, yeah, I got it. Assertive interruption. Hey, can I jump in for a second? I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. See the difference? You're not dismissing them, you're redirecting them. It's not stop talking, it's let's focus for a moment. And if they still don't take the hint, try this line. I really want to keep hearing this, but I'm short on time. Can we pick this up later? It's respectful, it's honest, and it puts a boundary in place without guilt. Step 4. Lead the conversation. Don't let it lead you. When someone overtalks, it's easy to get swept away in their words, but you can take control of the direction without controlling the person. Ask specific questions that box the conversation into a clear topic. Instead of how's work, say what's been the biggest challenge at work this week. Instead of how are you, say what's one good thing that happened to you today. Why does that work? Because open-ended questions without focus invite rambling. But targeted questions give structure. They show that you're engaged but also guiding the exchange. Think of it like a GPS for communication. You're politely steering them back to the road. Step 5. Recognize emotional hijacking. Sometimes the reason someone won't stop talking has nothing to do with the topic. It's about emotion. They might be venting, defending themselves, or trying to feel seen. In that moment, logic won't work. Empathy will. You can say something like, "Hey, I can tell this really matters to you," or "You've been through a lot." That's a lot to carry. That one line of emotional acknowledgement often does more than 1,000 logical interruptions. When people feel heard, they stop trying to force being heard. Step 6. Set boundaries early and consistently. You teach people how to communicate with you every single time you talk. If you always let someone dominate conversations, they'll assume you're okay with it. So, create your standards, kindly but clearly. If you're in a group setting, use time-sharing phrases like, "I love what you're saying. Let's see what others think too." If it's one-on-one, say, "I want to share something too. Can I jump in?" Notice that it's not confrontational. It's collaborative. You're not shutting them down. You're inviting balance. Boundaries aren't walls. They're doors with locks. You can open them when you want, but you decide when. Step 7. In professional settings, redirect with authority and grace. You've been in that meeting, right? One person dominates the room. Everyone else zones out. And the clock keeps ticking. Here's how you reclaim space without making it awkward. Acknowledge, then transition. That's a great point, John. Let's hear some other perspectives, summarize and move on. So to recap your main point, got it. Let's shift to the next item. This is leadership in action. Calm, respectful, and firm. Remember, authority doesn't mean volume, it means direction. Step 8, manage your inner dialogue. You can't control how long someone talks, but you can control how you respond internally. Instead of thinking, they're wasting my time, try. This is a good test of my patience and communication skill. When you approach it as practice instead of punishment, you stay emotionally steady. And steady people, calm people, are the ones others actually listen to. Because here's the secret. The one who controls their emotions controls the room. Step 9. Know when to walk away. You've tried empathy, cues, questions, and boundaries, but they still won't stop. That's your signal. This isn't a conversation. It's a monologue. You can't fix that. And that's okay. You can exit without guilt. Try. I've got to run, but I really appreciate you sharing that. It's polite, final, and healthy. Because your piece is worth more than someone else's endless words. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to your attention. That's not kindness. That's self-abandonment. Step 10. The deeper truth. Maybe this isn't about them at all. Sometimes people who talk too much mirror something inside us. Maybe we're afraid of silence. Maybe we fill space with words too. Maybe this moment is just reminding us of what we need to heal in ourselves. The best communicators don't just manage others, they manage themselves. They know when to speak, when to listen, and when to simply let go. Final message. So next time someone won't stop talking, pause before reacting. Observe before interrupting. Lead before leaving. Because this isn't just about stopping them. It's about strengthening you. It's about becoming the kind of person who knows how to set boundaries without guilt. Who can protect their peace without anger? Who can walk away without resentment? That's real confidence. That's real communication. And that's what makes your presence powerful. Even when your words are few. You don't have to raise your voice to be heard. You just have to raise your standards.